he was abandoned by the good fortune he had known all his life. When I questioned him, pressing for information about his plot with our treasonous general, I tried to imagine the moment he decided to gamble. I looked at Andre, a major in the British Army who was now our prisoner, as he sat in a chair beside a small, round table. "Why?" I asked. He said nothing, but cast a downward glance and slowly shook his head. The galloping menace of the war had simply outpaced him. 2. As Major Andre struggled to keep his spirits up within the stone walls of Maybe Tavern, a makeshift jail for a single prisoner, a feeling of unease spread throughout the encampment. The enlisted men who gathered around campfires to stare at the flames and think about home were spitting and cursing instead, damning the prisoner and calling for the hangman. The officers I knew were less certain, and their wall tents near the Dutch church, their conversations contained confidential whispers. Inside the brick and stone DeWint House, where General Washington convened his most trusted advisers, a human shadow had descended over the laws of war. Confined in the tavern was a good man of noble character, who in another time would have raised a tankard in merriment with us. The officers who paced back and forth, who heard the strain in the general's voice and watched him squint to read the papers on the map table, were unnerved by the choice they debated: to hold Andre as a prisoner of war or execute him as a spy. Even in war, there is a protocol among gentlemen, and Andre was given every accommodation. I knew that Washington sent meals to the prisoner from his own kitchen. The commander-in-chief permitted Andre to summon a servant upriver from New York to bring a proper uniform. Even as a prisoner, Andre had a worldly intelligence and courtly manners that were endearing. Colonel Hamilton, Washington's aide-de-camp, said Andre had an elegance of mind. Lafayette found the British officer charming, frank, and noble. Major Talmadge, who supervised Andre's confinement, told me the prisoner was convivial and polite. Still, there were things that Andre would not reveal to them about his co-conspirator, our turncoat general, so they sent me to see him because of what I knew about Benedict Arnold, our Judas. It was the third day of Andre's imprisonment, in the late afternoon, when I conducted that first interview. A special troop was stationed on the green in front of the tavern, and 2 soldiers from the 2nd Light Dragoons stood guard outside the door. Major Andre rose and greeted me, then offered me a chair, extending what little hospitality he could. We spoke briefly of the autumn weather and of amateur theatricals, which I had heard he fancied. Then I asked him what I had come to find out. "You came upriver as a secret emissary from the British command to meet General Arnold and receive his plans for treason." "I was so ordered, and I did my duty." "It is no small thing for a major general to willfully turn over his command, a strategic fort of high importance, to the enemy." "It is no small thing, that is true." "It could have been a trap to set an ambush against British forces, to draw regiments up the Hudson away from New York, or some other tactic." "We considered that, of course." "Then you must have inquired as to his motives." Here Andre became pensive, but only for a moment. "He lost faith in your cause." "Did he tell you that?" "And he disdained the involvement of the French." I waved my hand, dismissing that explanation. "Was it for money? What reward had you negotiated?" "There was a reward of sufficient size to demonstrate our commitment and gratitude, but it was not for money." "Then what was the reason?" "He lost faith in your cause." I shook my head. We were silent as we regarded each other through the evening twilight. "I know Benedict Arnold," I said. "Better than I do, I am certain," Andre replied. "Did he betray